so I could read this out loud. Here's a vacation. Our teams on Amazon and Smilegate recently discussed player feedback, share insights. We'd like to start a thank you from both our teams. We dive in. The love dedication show many lost stars, so just fluff. As we set forward the 2033, you'll find some thoughts planned below. Focus areas of player feedback, directional goals, not content, compared to Arcadia. Well, you could still but while you still find one or two spoilers, we'll be following the 2023 roadmap part 2 next week. We'll to share this plan. So roadmap next week. Okay. With our top priorities last year, bot problem, enormous effort was made both Smilegate and Arbitrary to better implement a variety of changes to restrict bots. Material accumulation by bots also require action. We have banned millions of bot accounts in the ongoing effort. But the material have been produced, still pose the rest of inflation. We continue to take strong action against armed 2 participants, take future action on both gold and other technical measures developed and tested. Continue to invest in future measures. Specific tactics can't be revealed for security reasons, obviously. But we can assure you that we are keenly monitoring and activity patterns, ready to respond to modified activity. While it will be difficult to ever completely remove bots, we've made significant progress limiting the impact on the gameplay with the economy. A new measure with constant waves, changes to let 55 million bot golds removed from the game, and a 99% decrease bots interacting with the community. Yeah, the bots definitely have been reduced for sure. It's quite noticeable when there are bots and when there are not bots. Like, for example, our fucking currency exchange. The bot removal plus the Esther weapons. Like, this shit's nice. 1800? It's nice. Still expensive, still somewhat expensive, but you know, it's better this than, you know, opening the gates to new players. Thankfully, we still have new players embarking in the first adventure every day. However, versions, vertical content cause cadence to significantly faster original version Korea. We notice that new players find it hard to catch up content level. 1 year after launch, returning new players have difficulty adjusting content level 50, learning Guardian or Legion raids, setting up raid requirements to address. We cut down unnecessary content, exhausting new and returning players, starting with low tier improvements. In order to enjoy Legion Rage, 4 gear progression steps are currently required. That's too many honing steps are overwhelming. Having repetitive gear progression seems unnecessary, so we plan to integrate them to 2 tiers. Guardian first time and Tower rewards will be enhanced to be on par with the integration, so players will not have to play each tier's content multiple times. That's good. So we're pretty much merging tier 1, tier 2. That's what it sounds like. Horizontal content approval. So far, we have been focusing mainly on improving and alleviating honing difficulties. However, new players also find it difficult for horizontal content. To improve experience, we plan to make collecting runes, tripods, cards, gems easier for everyone. To reveal some things we have in mind, new uncommon rooms will be added to early progression to help players acquire new runes more easily. Okay, that's nice. New deep dive, and you have a plan. Stats will be collecting difficulty will be improved. Okay, so they're essentially making all the horizontal shit, which is good because as newer players come in, it gets harder because not a lot of people are doing the same horizontal content anymore, right? Like, for example, fucking this island right here. This piece of shit island. Where is it? Right here. Speed up. This shit's like almost impossible to get a group in. You have to find like the right time of day. Fucking the stars have to align, and then maybe you'll have at least like 3 people that all have bomb. Right? But, you know, alt progression improvements. As you know, we introduced silver honing system to the March update. We'll continue to expand the levels. The system sure we will continue to expand the levels the system covers to ensure players can easily progress on new classes and alts. Expanded silver will come with the next class launch. Class. We also cut down the requirements for 2 of the most needed materials, silver and honor shards, to make gearing easier. Looking forward, we're currently contemplating methods to improve engraving, gems, etc., etc. Q, well, we recently made tripod activation roster bound, so once it's activated the character, everyone from the roster can activate it. We'll also be reducing other unnecessary things. Having to play through story quests after completing them with the main roster is an issue. Knowledge transfer is placed to skip these inconvenience, but due to many restrictions, difficult for actually new players to use. To just we're working on alleviating restrictive conditions. Okay, so they're making more things more accessible to newer players, like the knowledge transfer being restricted to only people who have cleared the first time, for instance. Okay. Player exhaustion, learning, and dailies. With all content mentioned above, frequently content updates are leading to enhanced exhaustion and gatekeeping, making it difficult for new and returning, with dozens of patterns to memorize, burdening new players to attempt to learn. Suggest we are preparing the following updates. Argos Abyss Raid. The best way to help progression to provide appropriate content for the player's current level of play. At this point of view, Argos is extremely difficult raid. Extremely difficult? I don't know about that, but you know, considering it is one of the first raids a new player encounters without having enough time to adjust to Arcasia. When the progression adjustments listed take place, players will get to enter Argos earlier into the game, alleviating the burden of mechanics to the Argos raid, so they're making it entry level lower. Tectavia mentioned the people that spent thousands of dollars to get to Argos, now we're making it easier. Anyways, we will reduce the number of patterns in the wipe to ease the learning curve. To change most wipe mechanics, plain damage dealing ones. Okay, so it's not gonna be as so they're pretty much babying Argos at this point, which is fine. Argos is not something you should gatekeep people on. We don't want players to experience too many situations where one player's mistakes result to everyone failing so early into the game. Yeah, true. It is quite frustrating that one guy didn't see the, let's say, in the phase 3 during Sun. That one guy that didn't group with you. Yeah. Some Smilegate's RPG research development will also look into applying similar changes to earlier Legionary like Volt and Vicus. Interesting. Not every wipe mechanic will be adjusted considering their design. Top tier will be assured more details than the changes until they're available. So they're making up to Volt and Vicus more streamlined and less punishing. Okay. With these changes, we hope every player in Arcadia can experience fun trying out endgame content without too much stress while simulating learning the types of patterns and mechanics we can expect in the harder endgame content. Similarly, the community conversation surrounding daily is a hot topic these days. We're aware of this content concerning Chaos, Guardian, and Unas. Currently, these daily activities are critical for attaining materials, true, and allow hardcore players to have something to earn every day, so reducing them is not some problem to tackle. We need time to think about it, but we understand the repetitiveness of the content. Smilegate is going to undergo internal research and develop a discussion resolution to help cut down the grind, which we'll introduce Ebony Cube, a new activity combined. Wait, what? In the meantime, we'll introduce. Okay, good. When further plans reducing dailies are confirmed, we'll make sure to share in greater detail. Until then, QOL like Ebony Cube will. Okay, so far we've gotten a confirmation of the roadmap next week, a confirmation of Argos, Vicus, Volton going to be easier and less wipe mechanics. Not all, but less. We're getting Ebony Cube. They're going to work on. They have acknowledged the fact that we have too much homework, daily homework, and they're going to look a way how to minimize said homework, because their perspective is we want the reason why these daily contexts are a thing is to have new and endgame players earn something every day. Sure, fine, but like that gets a hassle. There's so much. There's Unas. There's Guardian Raid. There's Chaos Dungeon. So they're gonna try and find a way to minimize that in a sense, the same way that they did Boss Rush and Cube. So to help cut down the grind in the meantime. So they don't have any plans for this, but they don't have anything in mind, I should say, but they do have plans for it. That's the correct wording. Content, cadence, and events. We know that players have expressed some questions or concern about the current content release cadence. Catching up to the new end-game content, it's important to us and new players, but there are two problems: speeding up the process, localization, and player burnout. If the content's localized too quickly, the overall quality may be compromised regardless of localization. Timelines are so problem having to digest too much content at the same time. So they don't want to release everything out all at once, is essentially what they're saying. Our goal is to introduce content as fast as we can without having too much problems occur. However, we know this is not satisfactory to players. Yeah, you can't necessarily release something too early or too late. You have to find the middle ground. So I'm not trying to side with Smilegate and AGS, but as a player, it would be nice, but at the same time, you have to think of the bigger picture here. Therefore, we promise that new classes, or at least will be updated as soon as possible. New content is later added have to be updated in order while we don't have classes. While classes don't have the same restrictions, we're excited to share the next 4 month roadmap with you next week. Yeah, we're getting this next week, and you will uh hope that you will feel heard when the content plan is revealed. Another piece of content we plan to integrate at a faster speed heading forward are in-game events. The events in our version are mostly been older events in Korea, which is an ideal heading forward. Our teams at Amazon and Smilegate plan to introduce more events applied simultaneously across the version, including events similar to the recent April Fool's event in Korea. Of course, will so essentially they feel bad giving us like hand-me-downs, and they're gonna think of more events that release on all versions, which makes sense because it's an event. So like, you know, the only thing you would have to do is obviously tone down some of the rewards because we don't have fucking Akon gear, so they're not obviously gonna give us Akon rewards, right? Looking forward, we still have a way to go and hope to understand one letter isn't magic band-aid for everyone or splendid elemental HP potion. Haha, very funny. But we hope this letter comes the first step in the road to more open communication and positive changes to the game. Thank you for ongoing support and dedication to Lost Ark. Prepared a gift for all players that will be sent alongside the letter. As a first-time login reward, you'll receive the following in the product inventory: some skins, some more Makoko stuff, battle items, 1,000 silver, relic report ×3, and 50 fions. These items can be claimed by anyone who logs into the game before May 10th. As we progress into 2023 and beyond, our very first priority is you, the players of Lost Ark. We plan to close the gap between you and the teams of Amazon Games and Smilegate by taking one step into interacting with you. We'll see you again next week with the roadmap part 2, which is some exciting surprises. Thank you for your patience, dedication shown the past year. We will continue to strive to exceed an expectation. Oh my god, this is pretty good. They talked about some issues that we've been talking about for a while. Alright, I'm going to make this into a video. So I'm gonna clip this and then post it tomorrow.